Hello, this is Pam from Down Under Recumbent Trike Ventures. There's been a few of you have asked me recently about my Veltop canopy and how it works, so I thought I would just do a general walk around and show you how it attaches. Our canopy is a Veltop Sun Canopy, which is from Veltop in France. We bought these a little while ago and they're great for riding in our summer climate. The top part of the canopy is in two sections. It has a rear pocket at the back here, and this part here detaches. There's Velcro there, and I'll undo the other side. And as you can see, there's rods here, and I'm probably going to need two hands for this. That part comes off. Now the rods that are in here are jointed poles, and they are foldable, and they all then, along with the roof fabric off the top, will fit in this pocket here. This is pretty nifty, so that when you're riding, if it gets too windy, you can just dismantle the top part, and I'll show you in a minute. And you just fold all that up there and it fits in this pocket here, and you just leave this part on here. What we do then is take the front cables off the front poles and just cable tie them to this part here at the back. We always carry a couple of spare cable ties just in case it gets too windy. When I say too windy, I'm talking about probably over 20 kilometres an hour wind. Up until that time they're quite stable. Yes, there'll be a little bit more wind resistance, but it's doable, and it makes a difference if you have this roof part here. There's an adjustment part here, these screws here, and if you can get that up as high as you can, and then when you sort of put the roof part on here, get a bit of a curve in it, and the wind sort of goes over the top of it. So that's why it's important to have it set up correctly. And of course you need your head clearance underneath. It's attached here by two brackets which go onto the rear rack. We actually use these little holes in the thing to put our flagpoles in. And you can adjust the height of it that way there. And also the incline of the roof. It's supported by it's sort of like got a tent pole type rod in here, and then I've actually got mine velcroed onto the handlebar top thing. So now I will pull it apart and show you what it looks like. This is the underside of the canopy roof. The front pole there just slides under there, and material folds over and secured by Velcro. To my left there's a little corner bracket which joins the two rods together. I normally only just undo one. Those side poles just slide out. Now all the poles are jointed, and I'm having a bit of trouble here trying to do it one-handed to unjoin them, but as you can see they fold in half, which makes them then easy to store in the rear canopy bag. The front poles have like a tent pole in the middle of them as well, and you just slide them off the front pole. So it just folds up into a neat little package like that, which will go in the rear pocket of the canopy. And that just undoes there. Slide that in there. And the poles just go in there, and then you just do that up, which I'm doing with one hand. The ability to be able to dismantle this easily on the run is what we like, and the front poles, what we do with those is we carry a couple of extra cable ties and just attach them to this back support pole. To reassemble, it's just a matter of sliding the front poles over the front horizontal pole, and then you join the connector onto the side poles. From here, you just slide the fabric back over and velcro it closed. The back of the canopy has two little holes, which you'll see these rods here, they go into those two holes. These are the two holes I'm talking about that these holes go into. It's normally easier if you've got two people. It's probably going to get caught on something. That's one side. And the other side. And then you just fold that part down. And there's Velcro to secure that. And then these two poles here, I have them attached on this part here, but there is another clip that you can actually have it so that you can undo the clip to lift up the roof, but I actually prefer to have these quite rigid, and I find if I have them on the bottom pole down there, they're not as rigid, so they're just Velcro up there like that. So as you can see, if there's any wind, there's not a lot of roof movement, like up and down. It's hard to tell because I've only got one on. I'll put the other one on. What I also do there is put another cable tie around here where my thumb is. It just keeps that firm there, so there's not a lot of bounce around. As I said, when they're both done up tight, and I'll just put a cable tie on now. I'll put the camera down and put a cable tie on, and then I'll show you how there isn't any movement. Okay, I just put a bit of a cable tie around this bottom piece here, and what that allows, that just keeps that part tight there, and then you can see that roof won't bounce around. Well, what I'm saying is, if it's loose, if there's any slackness in this, the roof will come down in front of your eyes, which has happened to me in the past because I didn't have this part stable enough. So look, you'll get a bit of movement, but not a lot, and not anything to be concerned about. We've never had any dramas, as in felt like they're going to rip off. But if it gets to that stage, well, that's when we just dismantle them and just ride with the rear canopy. As I said, you need to make sure you've got your headroom there and have that part up as high as you can. We had a few little dramas when we first got them, and we needed to get different brackets, but the yellow paint's where I've tried to put a mark on, so I know exactly where to line it up, but I've changed it a little bit since then. One thing I didn't mention before was that we can do, when we ride with the canopies on, we can easily do 20 to 25 kilometres with the canopies on and not feel any great difference. There's no real great drag. Obviously there is a little bit of difference, but nothing that's anything worthwhile worrying about. So we're very happy with them. So that's our Veltop canopies. We're quite happy with them. You'll find that, like in our summer here, that maybe you probably won't get the full benefit till 10 o'clock when the sun's more up above, but it just extends our riding time and is a lot more pleasant to ride when you've got that shade overhead. So there you go, that is our Veltop canopies, and as I said, we like them for that ability that you can dismantle them on the run. The Veltop do make another
Expedition one, which is a full top canopy which comes out further and is a lot more complicated to dismantle, and that's why we bought these. We're going down the dig and deviation this morning. There's a little bit of wind, you might be able to see the trees blowing, so there might be some more down at Sandgate, but as you can see the canopy is pretty steady. We're going to build up a bit of speed to show you how fast we're going. Currently 24 with no impact on the canopies. James does have a little bit more of a curve in his, so the wind goes over the top, but even mine's not even going, moving around. Gets me up again. They go past me slowly. Hang on, let me catch up. That's pretty good.
So here I am with the trailer and the canopy on, and still able to achieve speeds up to 25 kilometres.
James is going to show how the quick release clips work that allow you to lift up the roof of the canopy, so to enable ease of getting in and out. That's one. We've got a bit of wind here, so James will have to hang on to it so it doesn't fly up. So yeah, that just lifts up, just to enable you to get in and out. I don't worry about it with mine, I just duck for cover because I don't want to keep on adjusting it, and I like mine taut, the tension on the front poles. Okay, you can clip it back up again. The other thing I didn't mention was that I think James has got longer poles. You can get two different lengths of poles in the canopies, and that's probably why I haven't got mine on the lower bar, because I haven't got the longer poles, and if I don't have that, there will be slack in the front poles and they bounce up and down. This probably gives you a bit more indication of the wind. The wind's blowing pretty strong at the moment, a few little gusts from here and there. You can see the flags. So we're going to be riding into this wind. So I'm going to get James to go ahead of me and take photos of me head on. And you can see the canopies just get a little bit of wind on it, but it's not anything really dramatic. Quite stable. And there's Miss Molly.
We are riding along the Sandgate waterfront here. You can see James's flags are flapping quite vigorously. The water is also quite choppy as well from the wind. Normally it's quite calm, or the tide is out, so this is the highest we've seen it for a while. You can notice a bit of the wind when you're riding along, because we are riding into a headwind, and a little bit sometimes goes underneath the canopy, but as you can see, it's not doing anything violently one way or the other. The background noise you could hear in the last bit was the dog snoring, so I apologise for that. We only travel along here about 10 to 15 kilometres an hour because of the pedestrian traffic.
famous for riding into the wind. Quite strong.
We've actually ridden in stronger winds than this, but I feel quite confident with these canopies that they stand up to a fair amount of wind.
So here comes Pamela into the wind, doing about 15 kilometres an hour.
That concludes the video on the Veltop canopy. I hope you enjoyed finding some information about how it works. I've tried to show you how it works at speed and in the wind. And if you enjoy seeing these videos, please hit the subscribe button to allow me to grow my channel. Thank you.